Everyone says hummingbirds stare because they're curious. That's wrong. Everyone says they hover near you because they like you. Also wrong. Everyone says if a hummingbird comes close, it means you're gentle, you're safe, you have good energy. Still wrong. What a hummingbird is actually doing, when it locks eyes with you, when it hovers inches from your face, when it refuses to fly away, is something far more intelligent, far more calculated, and far more fascinating than anything you've heard before. It is not a curiosity. It is not affection. It is not a coincidence. It is a system, a precise, lightning-fast survival system. And today, we are going to break down exactly what that system is, what that stare actually means, and what this tiny bird already knows about you that you don't even know about yourself. Welcome to Yard Bird Secret, the channel where we uncover the hidden behavior, the secret signals, and the untold science happening right in your own backyard. And today, we are starting with one of the most misunderstood birds in the entire backyard world, the hummingbird. Now, most people think they know hummingbirds. They're tiny, they're fast, they love red feeders, they drink nectar, and when they hover near you, they're just being friendly, right? Wrong. Here's what's actually happening. Every single time a hummingbird enters your yard, it is running a calculation, a rapid, almost instantaneous threat assessment. And you, standing there in your yard, holding your coffee, thinking you're just watching a pretty bird, are part of that calculation. The hummingbird is not seeing a friendly human. It is seeing a large, unpredictable, potentially dangerous object standing between it and its food source. And that stare? That is not admiration. That is evaluation. Today we are going to go deep into what hummingbirds actually see, what they actually think, and what that stare is really telling you. Because once you understand it, your entire relationship with these birds will never be the same. So here's what today's video is going to give you. First, the real reason hummingbirds stare at you. Not the cute reason, not the popular reason, the actual biological reason. Second, what hummingbirds are evaluating when they look at you, and what they decide based on what they see. Third, why your clothing color, your movement, and even your daily routine matters more to a hummingbird than your feeder does. And finally, the exact steps you can take, starting tomorrow morning, to make a hummingbird trust you. Not just visit your yard, but actually trust you. Stay until the end, because the practical section is where everything clicks together. And if you want to keep understanding the hidden signals, the secret behavior, and the untold science of the birds in your backyard, then subscribe to Yard Bird Secret right now. Because this channel is built for people who don't just want to watch birds, they want to understand them. Hit subscribe, and let's get into it. All right, let's get into the real reasons. First reason, point 1, that stare is not friendliness. It is a threat assessment. Let's set the scene. You walk out into your yard. You move toward your feeder area, and a hummingbird that was feeding peacefully a moment ago suddenly stops, pulls back, hovers, and stares directly at you. Now, your instinct says, "Oh, how sweet. It noticed me." But here is what is actually happening inside that tiny bird's brain. The moment you entered its space, it registered you as a potential threat. Not a friend, not a familiar face. A threat, something large, something moving, something unpredictable. And that hover, that stare, is not a greeting. It is a freeze response. The hummingbird is calculating. Is this thing going to move toward me? Is it going to reach for my feeder? Do I stay or do I go? In that moment, you are not a person to a hummingbird. You are a variable, and it is deciding, right then, whether you are a safe variable or a dangerous one. Second reason, point 2, you are standing between a hummingbird and its survival. This is something most people completely overlook. A hummingbird, despite looking delicate and decorative, is running on an extremely tight energy budget. Their wings beat 50 to 80 times per second. Their heart beats up to 1,200 times per minute. Their metabolism is so fast that they need to feed every 10 to 15 minutes just to stay alive. Let that sink in. Every 10 to 15 minutes. So when you walk into your yard and stand near that feeder, you are not just standing near a bird. You are standing between a hummingbird and something it cannot afford to be cut off from. Its survival. And that stare, that hovering, that intensity in its eyes is not a wonder. It is urgency. It is a tiny creature with a racing heart and a ticking clock, trying to figure out if it is safe to get past you and get back to feeding. The moment you understand that, everything about how you see hummingbirds changes completely. Third reason, point 3, hummingbirds remember your face and your behavior. This is the part that surprises people the most. Most people assume that birds don't really recognize individual humans. That to a bird, all people look the same. That is completely false. Hummingbirds have an extraordinary spatial and facial memory. Studies have shown that hummingbirds can remember the location of every single flower, every single feeder in their entire territory. And not just the location, but the exact time those flowers refill with nectar. They track time. They track location. They track patterns. And they track faces. If you have been in your yard consistently, moving slowly, staying calm near the feeder, that hummingbird has already filed you away. It has a memory of you, a specific, detailed, behavioral profile of you. And when it stares at you today, it is not seeing a stranger. It is cross-referencing you against everything it already knows about you. Is this the same person who was here yesterday? Did they cause any problems? Are they safe? And if you have been calm, consistent, and non-threatening, that hummingbird already knows it. But if you have been unpredictable, sudden, or disruptive near the feeder, it knows that too. Hummingbirds do not forget. Fourth reason. Point 4. That stare is a form of communication. Here is something that changes everything. When a hummingbird hovers in front of you and holds that stare, it is not just observing you. It is talking to you. In hummingbird language, that direct hover and stare can mean several different things depending on the context. It can mean, "You are too close to my feeder. Back up." It can mean, "I see you. I am watching you. Do not make any sudden moves." It can mean, "I am deciding right now whether you are part of my safe zone or a reason to leave." And in rare cases, when a hummingbird has built real trust with a human, that stare can mean, "I recognize you. You are part of my world. I am comfortable enough to look you in the eye." That last one is something most backyard bird lovers never get to experience. But it is possible. And later in this video, we are going to talk about exactly how to get there. Now let's talk about the science behind all of this. Because once you understand how a hummingbird actually sees the world, everything
we just talked about makes complete sense. The hummingbird's sensory world, in plain English. First vision. Hummingbirds do not see the world the way you do. You see 3 primary colors: red, green, and blue. A hummingbird sees 5. They can see ultraviolet light, colors that are completely invisible to the human eye. What does that mean in your yard? It means a hummingbird sees your feeder, your flowers, and even your clothing in a version of color that you cannot even imagine. And it also means when that hummingbird is staring at you, it is seeing details about you that you cannot see about yourself. The UV patterns on your skin, the brightness of your clothes, the subtle color signals that tell it whether you are something familiar or something new. Second, speed of processing. A hummingbird's brain processes visual information roughly 4 times faster than the human brain. Think about what that means. In the time it takes you to blink, a hummingbird has already assessed your body language, clocked your movement speed, identified whether you are a threat, and made a decision. You are still blinking. It has already been decided. This is why hummingbirds seem so reactive, so fast, so impossibly aware of everything around them. They are not just fast flyers. They are fast thinkers. Third, threat detection system. A hummingbird's eyes are positioned on the sides of its head. This gives it an almost 360-degree field of vision. It can see what is in front of it, what is behind it, and everything in between, all at the same time. So when it appears to be staring straight at you, it is also watching the cat 3 gardens away, the hawk circling overhead, and the person walking down the street. All simultaneously. It is not just looking at you, it is monitoring its entire world, and you happen to be the most significant variable in that world at that moment. Fourth, memory and mapping. Hummingbirds have a part of their brain called the hippocampus that is significantly enlarged compared to other birds. This is the memory center, and in hummingbirds, it is exceptionally powerful. This is why they remember faces. This is why they remember feeding schedules. This is why they come back to the same yard, the same feeder, the same person, year after year. After year, they are not just visiting your yard, they are remembering it. Fifth reason. Point 5. Your clothing color is sending hummingbirds a signal. This one surprises almost everyone. You already know that hummingbirds are attracted to red. That is why most feeders are red. That is why red flowers draw them in. But here is what most people don't realize. When you walk outside wearing a red shirt, or a bright orange jacket, or anything with strong, warm colors. A hummingbird does not see a person. It sees a flower, or at least something that looks like a food source. And that is why it hovers near you. That is why it stares. That is why it sometimes flies directly at your face or your clothing, almost like it is investigating. It is checking, is this a food source, or is this something else entirely? And the moment it figures out that you are not a flower, it recalibrates, files you away as large moving object, not a food source, potential threat, or neutral presence. Which category you land in depends entirely on what you do next. Now flip this around. If you consistently wear red or bright colors near your feeder over many days, the hummingbird will start to associate your presence with food, with safety, with routine. And that association is the beginning of real trust. Sixth reason. Point 6. Your movement pattern changes everything. A hummingbird does not judge you by your intentions. It judges you by your movements. Slow, deliberate, predictable movement reads as safe. Sudden, fast, unpredictable movement reads as predator. It is that simple. A hawk does not announce itself. A cat does not warn you before it pounces. Predators move fast and suddenly, and a hummingbird, with its lightning-fast threat detection system, has learned over millions of years that sudden movement means danger. So when you spin around quickly, reach suddenly toward the feeder, or make any fast, unpredictable motion, that hummingbird is gone. And it may not come back for a while, but when you move slowly, turn your body gently, raise your hand in a smooth, controlled motion, the hummingbird reads that as non-threatening, safe, part of the background. Common mistakes that keep hummingbirds away. Mistake 1. Standing too close to the feeder. Most people place themselves directly next to the feeder and then wonder why the hummingbird won't come in. Give the feeder space. Start by standing 10 to 15 feet away. Let the hummingbird feed comfortably. Let it get used to your presence at a distance. Then, over days and weeks, slowly inch closer. Trust is built gradually, not in a single morning. Mistake 2. Making noise. Talking loudly, playing music, having a conversation on the phone. All of these create unpredictable sound patterns that make hummingbirds uncomfortable. Near your feeder, be quiet. Let the only sounds be the wind, the birds, and the soft hum of those tiny wings. Mistake 3. Giving up too soon. This is the biggest mistake of all. People try standing near the feeder once or twice. The hummingbird doesn't come close. And they conclude, it doesn't like me. That is not how hummingbird trust works. It takes consistency, patience, and repeated calm presence before a hummingbird begins to lower its guard around you. Some people earn that trust in 2 weeks. Some people take a full season, but the ones who stay consistent always get there. So now, let's make this real, because understanding hummingbird behavior is one thing, but actually building a relationship with one is something else entirely. Here are 5 things you can start doing right now in your own backyard. Step 1. Wear red or bright colors near your feeder. This is the simplest change and one of the most effective. When you go outside near your feeder, wear something red, a red shirt, a red hat, even a red bandana. Over time, the hummingbird will begin to associate that color with your presence and your presence with safety. You are not tricking the bird. You are giving it a consistent visual signal that it can recognize and trust. Step 2. Move slowly, always. Every time you are near your feeder, move like you are moving through water. Slow turns, gentle steps. No sudden reaches. No quick movements. Even if a hummingbird startles and flies away, do not react fast. Stay slow, stay calm, stay still. The hummingbird is watching you, even from a distance. And every slow, calm, non-threatening moment is being filed away in that remarkable memory. Step 3. Sit still near the feeder every morning. This is the single most powerful thing you can do. Pick a spot 5 to 10 feet from your feeder. Bring a chair, sit down, and just be there. Quietly, calmly, without reaching or moving. Do this every morning for 10 to 15 minutes. At first, the hummingbird will keep its distance. Then it will start feeding while watching you. Then it will start feeding without watching you. And one morning, it will hover right in front of your face and stare at you, not as a threat assessment, but as a recognition. I know you. You are safe. Step 4. Try a hand feeder. Once a hummingbird has gotten comfortable with your calm presence near the feeder, take the next step. Get a small, handheld hummingbird feeder. Fill it with fresh nectar. Hold it out. Keep your hand completely still and wait. The first few times, nothing may happen, but if you have been consistent, if you have been slow and calm, if that hummingbird has built even a small amount of trust in you, one day it will land on your hand. And in that moment, you will feel something that very few people ever get to feel: a wild bird choosing you. Step 5. Be consistent. Same time, same place, every day. Hummingbirds run on a schedule. They visit feeders at roughly the same times every single day. Early morning, mid-morning, late afternoon. If you want to build trust, be there at those same times every day. Same spot, same slow movements, same calm energy. Consistency tells the hummingbird, this large creature is predictable. Predictable means safe. Safe means I can stay. And staying is where the magic happens. So let's bring it all home. That moment when a hummingbird hovered in front of your face and stared directly into your eyes was never what you thought it was. It wasn't a curiosity. It wasn't affection. It wasn't a coincidence. It was one of nature's most intelligent creatures running a precise, lightning-fast survival assessment. And you were the subject. It was reading your colors. It was reading your movements. It was cross-referencing your face against everything it already remembered about you. And in that split second, it made a decision. Now, you know what that decision was based on. You know that hummingbirds see colors you cannot see. You know their brain processes the world 4 times faster than yours. You know they remember faces, schedules, and patterns with remarkable precision. You know that your clothing matters, your movement matters, your consistency matters. And you know the 5 steps that can take you from being a variable in a hummingbird's threat assessment to being someone it actually chooses to trust. Wear red, move slowly, sit still near your feeder every morning. Try a hand feeder when the time is right, and show up same time, same place, every single day. Do those 5 things, and one morning, that hummingbird will hover in front of your face again. But this time, it won't be assessing you. It will be greeting you. Now I want to hear from you. Has a hummingbird ever stared at you or hovered unusually close? Drop it in the comments below and tell me exactly what happened. I read every single one. And if this video gave you something new, something that changed the way you see these incredible birds, please hit like, so this video can reach every backyard bird lover who has ever had that same magical, confusing, unforgettable moment. Subscribe to Yard Bird Secret and hit the bell, because next time we are uncovering another secret that is happening in your backyard right now that you have never noticed before. Until then, go sit near your feeder, move slowly, and let that hummingbird decide.